welcome. We're about to get started. If y'all can find a spot, that'd be great. Keep the volume down a little bit, be respectful for the presenters. We're about to talk about a whole lot of cool stuff going on around Detroit. So, y'all ready? Y'all ready back there? Yeah, thank you, thank you. So, I'm gonna walk past you there. Thanks. Hi everyone, thanks for coming to the last day of the Crypto Café. Today's the Blockchains Showcase. I'm Rob Consdorf, CEO of EOS Detroit. We're gonna go through and have a number of developers and entrepreneurs from the Detroit metro area giving pitches on the projects they're working on. So the format of this is going to be more of a pitch style, 10 minutes apiece. Please hold questions till the end. We can network at the end. Yeah, welcome. And we've got a sign-up sheet over by the bar there. There's also some libations, and we've also got some neat origami handouts that will teach you about EOS Detroit and EOS, so please take one of those. Yep, he's got them. So grab yourself one of those, and welcome. So I'm actually the first pitch, so I'm just gonna get started. Yeah, so EOS Detroit is a block producer candidate for the EOS network. We're looking to leverage the transformative power of EOS and blockchain technology to transform that into real physical works that impact and help people. And I'm the CEO, so welcome. Yeah, so why do we need something like EOS? Well, there's a lot of problems with the existing internet and the way it's structured. The majority of the internet's run on 5 servers: Google, Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, and Apple. And we're all products. Anyone using any Google, any Apple, any Facebook services is a product. You're giving them your data for free, they're making a bunch of money off it, and they're not sharing any, and that's not okay. We don't have uniform identity, so we have to have different accounts for everything we interact with on the internet, which is annoying. Passwords aren't really good authenticators, it's just the best we have. We can do better. And you know, no one can see what's going on inside the black box of their servers. It's just entirely opaque to the world. We don't know what they're doing with our data. We've been finding that out through side channels, Cambridge Analytica, anyone? But it's just not okay. It's parasitic. It's hurting you know, people, and undervaluing what all of our contributions are worth on the internet. And so enter EOS. EOS is a blockchain network that just launched June 10th, so very recently, and we helped to launch that. It's been the culmination of 4 years of R&D, starting with a project called BitShares. It uses a consensus algorithm called delegated proof of stake, so it does not have mining. It's greener than typical blockchains, and it's designed to be highly performant and give the token holders representation in the system. So every token holder has some vote and some say in how the system is governed. EOS is actually the first governed blockchain. So it's a secure, decentralized internet protocol. At least that's what I like to think of it as. It allows us to increase the accountability and transparency on the internet, establish new business models via tokenization, aligning incentives between individuals, communities, and businesses, and peer representation via open source software protocols. EOS also has arbitration, dispute resolution. It's got the 3 branches of governance. Executive, the block producers, which is what we're running as, and campaigning to be is the executive branch. There's arbitrators that are appointed by community members that serve in the judicial, and the token holders are the legislature. Right now, it's technically a plutocracy, because every token is a vote. But in the future, there's been a lot of discussion about establishing a multi-house legislature in EOS, so strongly vetted individuals can also have a vote. So we can have a House of Commons and the token holder vote. But right now, the voting works more like corporate voting, where every share you have is a vote. What can we solve with this? Well, we can have sovereignty over our personal data, so we're in control, we're the authorizer, we're not just being farmed out by some tech company. We can create cryptographically verifiable voting systems, so we can actually verify the vote in real time. We own our digital identity, not corporations, in an open source space. We can create all kinds of new structures of human coordination with this stuff. So shared ownership of community infrastructure, all kinds of interesting ways to realign the way humans interact and put humans as first class in these systems. So EOS actually has its own digital constitution. So that's sort of the context in which the arbitrators rule. When you come use EOS, you're actually agreeing to the Constitution. So you should read that. In fact, a lot of the decentralized apps that will be built on EOS will render the Constitution before you use it, similar to a terms of service, but much more readable, because constitutions need to be around a 6th grade reading level. And liquid distribution of wealth versus consolidation. So in the current paradigm, tech companies consolidate wealth, and in the new internet paradigm, we'll be able to distribute that wealth to all the participants. There's a huge market opportunity here. We can see that there's been a huge demand for smart contract infrastructure by Ethereum. Over $3 billion in VC money has been put up, probably a lot more now. This was actually taken, that stat was taken in March. So EOS enables the commercialization of decentralized applications. It's designed to be performant and usable, so we can actually create decentralized applications that have millions of users and scale, which we currently aren't able to do with Ethereum today. That's kind of what you get from 3 additional years of R&D before you launch the system, because Ethereum was launched in 2015. EOS VC has pledged over $1 billion to fund application development in the ecosystem, and so my hypothesis is that EOS will provide a release valve for all the demand in the form of usable infrastructure for decentralized apps. Yep, and so EOS Detroit is our company. We're one small cornerstone of the overall EOS movement, which is on every continent except for Antarctica, as well as a lot of island nations. We provide highly available and scalable computation as a service to the global EOS network. So essentially, the EOS network can elect the best people for the job of validating transactions, and they bear the load of the network. And that's why EOS is actually highly scalable. So in EOS, you have half-second block times. So, you know, there's so many blocks happening. EOS launched June 10th, and there's already over 2 million blocks. Each token holder can approve 30 block producers via approval voting, and revenues are paid in the form of EOS tokens to those block producers. The standby block producers can earn as well if they have enough votes. There's a threshold. So that incentivizes additional block producers beyond the 21 actives. In EOS, there's a trade-off between decentralization and performance. So EOS has 21 active block producers that take turns producing blocks. but any number of standbys. So right now there's at least 200 companies like us attempting to become an active block producer. And we also add value to the EOS network by developing our own decentralized applications and doing community outreach and education. We've sponsored the Crypto Café here, and we run meetups regularly, so check out Detroit Blockchainers on meetup.com, which is a wider group that we're a part of. Yeah, our vision is to empower communities by leveraging the transformative power of EOS to bring about a new era of equitable internet services. So everything we do ideally will build value for the EOS network, the global movement, as well as a hyper-local movement here in Detroit that we hope to start and be a part of. We aim to accomplish this by providing reliable infrastructure and innovation to EOS. So ideally, we'll prove to the voters that we're worth hiring, and that will provide us with the funds we need to execute on this vision. So we value transparency, openness, fairness, independence, trustworthiness, and community impact. This is our team. We've got myself, Adam over here running the live streams, been directing our business operations. We've got a pretty strong team here. Everyone here is in Detroit except for Lovejoy, our director of communications, who lives in Minneapolis. So we're really focused on hiring within Detroit, building up the community here, and investing in our people here. Some of our contributions to date, we have been educating people about EOS at our meetups. We've been trying to hold at least one meetup with a guest speaker every month. As we ramp up, we'll be having more events, so please join us. We're providing nodes for EOS already, so we helped launch it. We had our nodes online the very same day. You can use our API node to build your own decentralized apps on EOS and broadcast transactions. And we've got a few other nodes, which I'm not going to dive into. The block production node's kind of the meat and potatoes. That's the one that actually will sign blocks if we get hired. So in EOS, the election is an infinite election, and anyone can reallocate their votes at any time. So when you get voted in as a block producer, you only have about a 2-minute claim to that position, and you could be voted out 2 minutes later. So it's a very liquid system. We've also started R&D on a decentralized app to provide internet access to underserved Detroiters. We think if we're going to bring about this new era of equitable internet services, then it's really important to make sure that the most underserved people in our communities are able to partake in that, because arguably they'll get the most value out of this. So we really think that's the best place to start. And we're just getting started. Our company was sort of formalized or made up in March, and we just added our last team member a few weeks ago. But we're looking to grow, and we're in the process of putting a dynamic equity split into place for all of our founders. So we really want to live by the merits of the decentralist movement and allow everyone on our team to also earn what they deserve. So we're all about fairness. We're working on bringing in around a seed capital so we can really plant our flag here. We'll be migrating our operation to bare metal infrastructure, so we'll actually have our servers located in the Detroit metro. And we're working on, we are working decentralized. We don't have an office yet, so we kind of just meet up. Sometimes we're in Grand Circus, sometimes we're in one of our basements, so we're working on landing office space so you can come talk to us at any time, and please follow our journey. We're just getting started, and we think it's going to be a long, exciting journey. We're really looking forward to actually taking all of the things people have been talking about the blockchain technology, what we can do with it, and realizing that, because to date it's been a lot of talk and mostly speculation, but I posit that the crypto market is actually shifting to utility-driven valuations instead of speculation-driven valuations. And we're going to see a big kind of upheaval over the coming years. I think we'll see hundreds of decentralized apps in the next 1 to 2 years. And all of these apps will enable people to take part without necessarily having capital, which is unlike the kind of where the market is today and where the blockchain industry is today, where you need money to play. There's one example of a decentralized app, Steam, or Steemit.com, which allows people to earn value for their contributions on a social media platform today. I view Steemit as sort of the prototype of what's about to happen with EOS at a whole nother order of magnitude. So we're gonna see hundreds of apps on EOS that are enabling people to earn value. So yeah, grab one of these. They're over there on the bar. You can follow us on Twitter, Instagram. You can check out our site, eosdetroit.io. And that's all I got. Thank you.
For those on the live stream, we're just getting the next presenter set up. seat, please. We're going to get started. Thank you. All right, next up we have Noah Pastelacqua from Total, another local Michigan startup based out of Birmingham, actually.
How's it going, everybody? So yeah, I'm Noah Pastelacqua. I work for Total, and we are working on a decentralized portfolio manager tool. So what we are is basically like a DEX aggregator as well, on top of being able to view what's inside of your wallet, whether it be MetaMask or a hardware wallet like Ledger or a Trezor wallet. So kind of show you like what your dashboard would be, what allocations you have, and then all the different relayers or decentralized exchanges that we're integrating with. And we believe that you are the owner of your own assets. So when you sign up for Coinbase or Binance, you don't own technically any of those assets. That company does. So they're centralized exchanges. So we want to bring the power back to the user by allowing you to trade directly from your own wallet. And also, along with these existing decentralized exchanges, their interface, I don't know if you guys have used them, but they all pretty much suck. The UI is garbage, and it's very hard to navigate. So we're trying to make it so that it's extremely easy, very intuitive for anybody who doesn't know what decentralized trading is or doesn't know how to do it, and we're just trying to make that as seamless as possible. And this would be an example of all the order books and different orders that we get from these exchanges. And I'll walk through like a small demo in a second to kind of show you what we're doing. And again, our highlights is that no logins when you come to our site. You just load in your wallet. So whether it's going to be MetaMask, you just unlock your MetaMask wallet, and then that's it. And then this is our website, and if you click on our Try Beta, this is our public beta that we launched a couple weeks ago. The Try Beta. Oh.
Okay. There we go.
Can you not see that?
Yeah, it's not on the screen.
Oh, shit. Okay. So this is what you get to, and you get to choose which wallet type you want to use. So this is my current MetaMask wallet. You can see how much Ether and either tokens that I have in my wallet. And you can see like the amount, price, change, and the value of each token. At the top, this drop down up here, you can change the currency that you're viewing your portfolio in, so you can see different comparisons. And if you click on this trade tab up there, these turn into sliders, which make it very intuitive again to change your portfolio allocations. All you do is just simply drag a slider, whether it's to buy or sell a specific token. And just like that, you can change your entire portfolio. And again, when you click on a token row, you show you like all these different information that we have in our database, whether it be the buy price, sell price, what your average price is as you drag, and our aggregated order book across those exchanges that we're pulling this information from. And when you click on next, our backend system will go through and find these best orders on that exchange. And if you click on this advanced tab as well, right here.
Oh, I see. Where's that?
Yeah, over to the left a little bit. down, down. Yeah, right there. We kind of show you what our fees would be, and starting off as in our beta, we don't charge any fees. The only fees that are being charged are through the DEX. So right now, Ether Delta charges a 0.3% charge of your transaction, so we just add that to the user at the moment. And the gas price, you can change your current, whether you want it to get mined really fast or really slow, depending on how much you want to spend on it. And this is just, again, due to the limitations of the Ethereum blockchain. So we can only trade on these decentralized exchanges based on when these blocks get mined. So you can go ahead and click on Submit Transaction, and this will give you a prompt. Oh my. It'll give you a prompt to sign a transaction. Then if you click on Confirm, it'll go ahead and route this transaction directly to our smart contract. Oh. Slight difficulties.
Oh, it went to very fast. Maybe that's the problem.
Refresh it.
Sure. Trace. Bang! Bang! Yeah.
Don't buy that much. Sell some of that.
How's that? Try buying it.
I think it's not bad. Click on.
Try submit.
Well, this works, but click on reset right quick right here. Try buying some back. Alright, slight difficulties at the moment, but if you click on smart, add token, this will show you a list of all the current tokens that we also have approved on these exchanges. So you can search them or scroll through the giant list of all the tokens that each one of these exchanges have to offer. And if you just click on one, it'll add it to your portfolio, and just like that, you can buy another token and add it to the bottom there. So that's pretty much what Total is. We kind of bring together the ease of use of trading, but also portfolio viewers, so you can easily see everything that's in your wallet. I do have shirts if anybody wants some like this. So okay. I don't know if I don't have too much, but first come first serve. I have medium and large at the moment.
I'll wear large. How about just my size?
All right, so thank you guys. Any questions? Yes.
So which coin do you suggest getting invested in?
I'm sorry?
Which coin do you suggest getting invested in?
Well, I don't. Which coin do I suggest buying? Is that what you're saying? I'm not a shill. I don't have any. The most stable? CS Bank. Now I would probably say like Maker coin, Maker token, or I don't know, like Tether, but yes.
You have an amazing user interface. How long it took you guys to actually come up with this?
From the inception of drawing it on a whiteboard to now, the inception of drawing was like the beginning of February. So this has been, yeah. So we really worked hard to get this out there.
First Total headquarters in Detroit?
Birmingham, yeah, we're based in Birmingham.
How can I get more involved? I'm internet geek. I'm in my house all day. Kind of have kind of joking, but I'm involved with crypto mainly like online.
what's a good Detroit crypto community that I can, or everyone, or anybody else in this room can get involved in?
That's a good question. Kennard, I don't know if he's here or not, but he's done a really good job at building up the Blockchainers Detroit community. So there is a Slack group called Detroit Blockchainers that we can invite you to. It's everybody in the Metro Detroit area that does meetups and hosts events just like this to talk just straight up blockchain and other cryptocurrency information.
Thank you so much. Michigan Ethereum meetup.
Yeah, Michigan Ethereum meetup as well. Yeah. On Wednesdays we have like build nights where you can come and talk Ethereum and other assets that people are doing. All right. Yeah. Thank you guys.
Awesome. Is Avi Rubin here? No? Okay, so next we're going to go to Spencer Crane. Spencer, you want to come up?
Hey everybody, how's it going? So first off, thank you for letting me have the chance to speak today to the team. Thanks to the EOS team and thanks to Adam specifically for the invite. I sadly do not have anything to show you guys today, but hopefully I can help you visualize this as well as possible. So pretty much everyone in here I think is aware of all of the recent challenges that have come to pass with regards to frankly, the rightful classification of ICOs, in a lot of cases as securities. And there's this constant debate over what is a utility, what is a security, who's allowed to hold it, etc. When the SEC made its decision in July 2017, it pretty much stopped quite a bit of innovation throughout the cryptocurrency and blockchain space. But what might be surprising to those of you who haven't really played much in the actual traditional financial services industry is this is not at all a new problem. It's really just a new and improved manifestation of the same problem, which is that, first off, access to capital for new projects, for existing projects, for small companies and big companies is still pretty challenging. And part of the reason it's so challenging is because there is a lot of cost and a lot of confusion around compliance. Right? I know it's not a sexy topic. The whole idea of compliance, of making sure that what you're selling, what you're raising money for, is in accordance with what the rules are. And I, just as much as the next ideologue, would love to see a world someday when things are truly a free market and we don't necessarily need as many of these rules because there's enough transparency. But before we get to that point, the question becomes, how do we utilize this tremendous technology, tokenization of blockchain technology, to raise capital more effectively, to fund these projects, to issue these in a way that doesn't send people to jail and still doesn't slow down innovation. So what I'm happy to introduce you guys to today is my company, which is trying to solve this and has been trying to solve this problem for going on about 3 years now. The company's called Securrency, and about 3 years ago now, it became really clear that this was a solution to the age-old problem of liquidity in private securities. So what is liquidity? Let's talk about that for a second. Liquidity, at its most foundational definition, is really how easily can you transform something's value into some other kind of value. Right? If I have $1, it's pretty easy for me to transform that dollar into something else. Additionally, if I want to buy Google stock on the New York Stock Exchange, pretty easy to buy that and then sell it and turn it back into dollars. So less liquid than dollars, but still pretty liquid. But what about things like the equity of an up-and-coming startup? or things like a piece of real estate in your local community, or frankly, just a large fund that you're invested in. These are all situations where there's been a lot of challenges for, frankly, hundreds of years around how do you transact these things effectively. And what most people don't know is while public equities make up actually only 10% of all the securitized value in the world, only 10%, 90% of securitized value is still locked up in these traditional alternative investments. And you know, this is a massive, massive opportunity for not only access to capital for those who don't have it, whether it's a third world farmer or an entrepreneur, but it's also access to opportunity for the millions and billions of investors who want to be involved and want to be stakeholders in both their local communities and larger opportunities. So what Securrency has done over the last 3 years, I'm actually proud to announce that as of last week, we've logged 1.5 million lines of code with a very, very specific goal, which is to enable the global distribution of tokenized securities. So through our model, any kind of issuer can come to our platform or to a platform that we're supporting and go through the process of using simple Boolean logic to literally determine the rules of their security. So, for example, only US investors or only not US investors, how many investors can hold on to it, et cetera. And our hope is that through this really, really simple model, what has traditionally been a really expensive legal process can now become a really democratized and simple, seamless process for actually capital formation, which is a fancy word for saying funding opportunity at the end of the day. And above and beyond that, what that allows us to do is we create what we call sort of a lock and key system. So you can imagine the security is this lock. It has these attributes. And an individual becomes the key. So we can now do KYC and anti-money laundering verification. Some of these things are really, really important still to the traditional financial system. We can do that in about 160 plus countries now, which means that you can essentially issue your securities and raise capital from people in 160 different nations across the world today. So really actually unlocking most of what the traditional ICO market allowed us to do, but in a way that will allow what we hope to be a more seamless evolution rather than a revolution of traditional financial services moving onto the blockchain, moving towards a more transparent system, and moving towards a more democratized service for capital formation. And by doing this, we create a key for that individual. And this way, we have this lock and key structure. And it's extremely simple and it's extremely elegant because that's the way we've built it. What this is built as is an abstraction layer. We're ledger agnostic as well as legacy financial system agnostic, meaning that currently today we have gateways to the Stellar blockchain, the Ripple blockchain, the Ethereum blockchain, the Bitcoin blockchain, and soon to be, we hopefully, the EOS and Hashgraph blockchains. And we'll continue to expand, with the right set of priorities according to where the right number of investors are and where the problem is biggest. But on the other side, we've also hooked into a lot of what is still the old financial world, which is necessary still today. Right? We talk about the blockchain capital side of things. That's a $500 billion market, or was at its peak. The securities market globally is a $4.2 quadrillion market. You've got a long way to go, and that process isn't going to happen overnight, and it's not going to happen by disagreeing with the rules as much as it's going to be a conversation, a cooperation, and a slow transition away from broken systems into better systems. So what does this all mean? This means that hopefully with our launch coming up in August and September, and an additional launch happening going into December, January, we've already signed partnerships with some of the larger cryptocurrency exchanges, as well as actually some partnerships with two local regulators, both in the United Arab Emirates, as well as our conversations with the SEC and a number of regulators in the Asia Pacific area as well. And our hopes is that by the end of the year, we'll be in a position to enable all those who want to fund their projects to actually do so in a way that ensures they'll have access to the capital they need, investors will have safe and transparent access to the opportunities they want, and you'll be able to participate with cryptocurrency and buying a house the same way that you'll be able to utilize Chinese yuan to buy into your next ICO. Thanks very much. I ran out of business cards. I'm going to be in this corner over here. Thank you.
All right, so next up is Mike Canar, how do you pronounce it? Vartanian? Mike Vartanian from Location Court.
That was on some like public page or something. Sorry about that.
Hey everyone, I think we're going to get started here again. All right, well my name is Mike Vartanian, and I want to thank everyone, especially Rob, Adam, for allowing me to present my idea here. Okay, so the product that I want to talk about is called Location Core, and it is a product of our company. The company that I work for is called Digital To Go Media Networks. And what we're trying to do is utilize blockchain for a specific application. So first, a little bit about our company. So Digital To Go is a consumer engagement and marketing intelligence platform. We basically are in the business of mobile audience data. We have a platform, a cloud platform, combined with mobile SDKs for iOS and Android. And what this allows our customers to do is to essentially better understand their user behavior in real locations. So with these SDKs, users opt in to share their data. And then using these SDKs, our customers, which could be physical location owners such as hotels, retail, financial institutions, airports, this gives them a mechanism to do two things. First is to interact in real time with their mobile audience. And they do this via push notifications, either triggered or non-triggered. And then also, we have the ability to then take all that data that they get from their users and then deliver value to them, whether it be probably the most common cause is a very relevant coupon, or it could potentially be other interests or other type of behavior that they're trying to incentivize. So I'll gloss over this very quickly for two reasons. The one being I'm not that technical. So this is essentially what we have. We have the cloud platform and we have an SDK. The SDK goes into mobile apps. We don't actually make mobile apps, but our customers make the mobile apps. And then by integrating our SDKs, we incentivize mobile app publishers by providing additional information about their users, as well as we share revenue with the mobile app publishers on a CPM basis to use their data. We also incorporate a variety of triggers, such as Bluetooth beacons, geofences, Wi-Fi hotspots, cell towers, all that good stuff. And then finally, on the platform side, we also have a set of APIs that allow you to expose or utilize your preferred system to visualize the data, or use your own tools and just incorporate our specific functionality. Okay, really quick, just one last slide, and then I'll talk about the blockchain part. So this is basically the two ways that our company makes money. Is we have platform fees for our customers that are more of the physical location owners, such as a hotel or a retail location or a bank or whatever. And what they do is they pay a monthly fee to use our services. We allow them to build content, create campaigns to then target specific users of their mobile app. And then the other main method is data. We sell data. Excellent. Okay, so Rob mentioned this earlier, and I think it's pretty apparent to most people. One of the main problems with this is that the end user, the person using the mobile app, is not actually getting compensated formally in any way, right? You could make the argument that Facebook's not free, right? And so they spend a lot of money to give you that ability to share your pictures of your family and make comments, but they're actually using your data to make lots and lots of money. So we feel that your data has value. Why should you, as the mobile user, not get compensated as well? So that's one of it. The other thing is it's not transparent. What exactly are you sharing? It's not very clear. So you do get a little message on your phone that says, hey, this app is going to be collecting some data. Do you want us to allow us to do that or not? And that's pretty much all you get. And then another problem, and this is not as a problem necessarily to the user, but a problem for us in the industry, is that the data is not always accurate. So I'll give you a quick example. If you've ever used your phone for navigation and you see where you are and you have a blue dot and then you have a huge circle around it, that means that the mobile app really doesn't know where you are. And so when we try to sell that data to our customers, it may not help them. It may not seem like such a big deal, but if there are two stores that are right next to each other, and when we build a persona on that user, if they go to Starbucks versus Subway or the oil change spot, that is quite different behavior. And so we don't want to target the Starbucks user with coupons for an oil change. So we're going to use blockchain as essentially an accounting system or a channel to enable our customers, or give our customers a mechanism to be able to compensate their users in a secure and transparent way. We're not actually going to put, and then we're going to also use that as an incentive for another thing, is trying to verify their location. So although this is not exactly flushed out, we want to, we're proposing some location-based consensus algorithms to actually verify where that data is coming from. All right, next slide. All right, so here's what we're doing. So basically, we're using currently the NEM blockchain, and there's two main reasons for it. The first reason was they're paying us to do it. They had a community fund, that they were accepting, looking for applications using their blockchain, and we proposed this, and they said yes. So that's the one reason. The second reason is that our technical team felt that the API approach was easier for them, so they didn't have to learn new languages to be able to incorporate the blockchain. And just to clarify, we don't actually store any of the data on the blockchain. We record a hash of that transaction on the public blockchain, and then we also use the private chain for our individual customers to be able to use that as a mechanism for paying their users. So we have this kind of developed right now. We're about, I want to say about 4 months in, into our project, and this could be what I guess a front-facing view of what our customers' mobile apps will be. They give you areas to enter, some information that you want to share. And then also, we provide other data sources such as your social profiles, as well as health kit and other data that could give you further incentive for sharing that data. Next slide. And that's it.
All right, next up we have Nate Talbot from BitDepth Media. Nate also was on the panel the first day. So give it up for Nate. He's been in the community for some time now, so.
Hey everybody. As Adam said, I'm Nate Talbot from BitDepth Media. We are a blockchain consulting firm. We work with enterprises and government agencies to analyze their systems, see if blockchain is something they're even interested in. If so, what's the best approach? We ourselves, we're blockchain agnostic. So if it's an EOS system that's best for them, we'll push them towards EOS. If it's developing their own system, we'll push that. I wasn't really expecting to speak today, so I just took some quick notes. If I seem like I'm rambling on a little, I apologize. One of the things we're actively doing now is part of our advocacy work is working with government and blockchain and trying to align the industry's needs with all the legislative efforts that are happening now. So I was going to give you a quick little rundown of what all that means and where actually we could use everybody in this room's help in doing that. So as was eloquently stated by previous speakers, blockchain essentially is a way to give power back to the people. You know, Bitcoin was created so we wouldn't have to depend on a third party to tell us what our money was worth, what we could spend it on, what we could do with it. That of course has evolved since then into an entire blockchain sphere, beyond just currency. Everything from information to resources, finances, communications, a wide range of things for us to sort of take back control of. The one thing though that I hear a lot in the space is that we need to go sort of full decentralized, which I'm actually agreeant with, except Rome wasn't built in a day and Rome wasn't destroyed in a day. And the same thing's true with the financial systems and the corporate structures we work with now. We're not gonna wake up tomorrow and find everybody just moved to a blockchain system and now we're all just independently free. So between now and then, assuming that happens, what do we do? And part of that is going to be what I envision as a world of two blockchains. A massive series of blockchains that are public, distributed, and incentivized. And this is what Bitcoin's pure model is. Everybody has a piece, anybody can access it, anybody can verify the data. But in the meantime, I also see a world where there's also smaller private blockchains that are sort of oracled in to a bigger, larger blockchain system. And let me give a little example of some of that, like ID on the blockchain. So if you're familiar with like Civic is a token used where you want to log into websites, or if you're interested in ICOs, you want to do know your customer or anti-money laundering, so you can enjoy an exchange. Right now you have to take pictures of your ID, your passports, all your personal information, your address, upload it to some centralized party, trust that they're not going to lose your data so you can gain access to something else. Where Civic sort of comes into play is they do all that and lock it into a blockchain for you. Encrypted, nobody can see the information, but now puts the power back in your hands. So next time you go to log into a website, for the very first time, they ask you all your login information. Instead of giving them your name, your email address, you just scan the QR code. Your information's already been confirmed. They don't have to trust that you're telling them the truth. They know it's true. The problem I still see with that system, though, is we still have to trust Civic, because you still have to give them your information. But imagine that happened with government. Imagine you can go to your, just like when you get a driver's license, or when you're born, you have a birth certificate, that information is input to a blockchain, a more private blockchain, but a blockchain that has all your information, that can be verified, just like your license is verified, and then that data can seep out. So when you go to the bank to open a new account, you're not giving away social security numbers and all this information. You show them a QR code, scan it, they know it's already been government verified because it's in there from the government, you're approved. Passport systems, no more applying for independent passports, because once you're in the system, you're in the system. You go country to country, show the scan, they already know everything they need to know about you. That doesn't stop blockchain initiatives like Monero or privacy coins, because you're still free to use those, but we're still using systems today that do depend on people knowing our information. So you have states now across the US that are starting to pass laws that are actually favorable for the blockchain community, like Delaware, Nevada, Arizona, Wyoming, I think California just passed one. Systems that are respecting the smart contract systems that EOS, Ethereum, NEM, that these are all built on as real contracts. Systems that are moving their land bank data over into the blockchain system. Illinois is experimenting with moving the birth certificate system over to the blockchain. Michigan just passed a law that stated if you deal with cryptocurrencies and lie about it, you're a criminal. Not so favorable towards the blockchain space. And this is where we're going to be looking to have some influence. Over the next few months, we'll be forming a couple small think tank groups and ways to engage with local council people, legislators, state representatives, and push them towards more favorable legislation. Laws are fine. However, again, if you're interested in getting into the blockchain space, if you have a financial incentive in the blockchain space, you want to make sure the area you're in is also favorable towards it and doesn't hinder that growth. So as people have said before, I'm partially active in Detroit Blockchainers, as I think everybody should be. They work with all of the communities that I know of, Michigan Ethereum, Michigan Bitcoiners, and all the other blockchains. So what I encourage you to do is when you leave here, or if you have your phone, do it now. Get the Meetup app, it's the easiest way. Find Detroit Blockchainers and just leave a message saying you want to get added to the Slack. Slack is just a messenger app. That's where all the communication happens, that's where everybody is. And this is where I could use you if you come and join that. If this is something you're interested in, join that. You'll see my messages about it, and we'll be looking to move more and more political favor towards us. Thank you for your time. I'll be here if you have any questions. Thank you, everybody else. Oh, one last thing. Along with that, I'm working with EOS Detroit on doing a cryptocurrency conference. We're trying to do the first large-scale cryptocurrency conference in Detroit in years. That'll be near the end of this year or early last year. We're just finalizing locations so we can put an announcement date. But again, Detroit Blockchain is one of the best ways to find out about this. It's going to cover the full span. We're not going to be an ICO shill conference. It's going to cover financial information if you're interested in the finance area. And that includes everything from hopefully having representatives from the SEC to explain to people what they're doing, the IRS with tax consequences, professional traders giving you tips and insight. We're going to have development panels if you're interested in being a developer, about the different platforms you can go, the different languages, and one for enterprise and government, just explaining blockchain basics, how it can be effective for you. So definitely keep your eye out. If things go well, this will be a free conference for the public. Everybody will be invited. Keep your eyes out. Thank you.
Thank you, Nate. Just a quick reminder to be respectful of the speakers that are up here. We only have one more, potentially two, if you can make it in time. So we'll have plenty of time to network after. But if you can just respect the speakers that are up there and keep the side discussions to a minimum. Thank you. So next up, we have David Case, and he's going to talk about his project, Crypto Fights, an MMO game.
Hello, my name is David Case. I am a software architect for Crypto Fights. Crypto Fights is a 3D turn-based RPG-style fighting game which runs on the Ethereum network. It's made up of a number of different cryptocurrency technologies that have been out in our mainstream, and we're using what Ethereum's really good at, which is managing tokens and allowing transfers of tokens. So within Crypto Fights, your characters, your players, are actually a ERC-721 token on Ethereum, which is the same technology that was used for making crypto kitties and that kind of thing. So your characters are actually collectibles which will level up over time as you enter battle with other players. In addition, you have items that can be equipped with your character, such as armor and weapons and shields. And those themselves are also ERC-20 tokens, like a normal ICO token is. And each of those tokens will have different rarity. So we have epic items all the way down to just standard items. With Crypto Fights, we are doing a soft launch right now of our very first release, which is covering our character creation mechanism, and our battle system is in active development. So battling within Crypto Fights is you basically will commit your character and a number of items, such as their weapons, their armor, into a battle against other players on the Ethereum blockchain. And you can wager money as well on those battles. The battles themselves are performed, the battles themselves are, the gameplay is very much Final Fantasy-like turn-based challenges, where on each turn a player has a choice of whether to attack or whether to run away or various other aspects. Thank you. So, let's see here. Okay, so players will commit their characters, and each character is customized with different stats. So when you first create your character, you will assign its strength, its agility, its vitality, very much D&D, Dungeons & Dragons based battle system. So you're going to customize your character, and as you put it in battles with each other moving forward, you'll level up in different areas, and so you'll have characters with different strengths and weaknesses, in addition to having different strengths and weaknesses within the items that you possess. And so when you commit into a battle, you're committing with a character that you have customized for either for your opponent or for what you want to fight with, and every battle can be different. In addition to our battle, which is currently in development, we have some pretty early rendering demos out there, but they're not quite at a point we want to show off yet. But I will be showing off the character creation screen in just a second. So additionally, built into our smart contracts, we have an affiliate program. So there is revenue opportunities for people to send people to our site. And those are lifetime associations. So when you sign up for our affiliate program, you will get a link, which you can then share on blogs or your social media or whatever. And every player, every Ethereum address who makes a purchase through our system will be associated with your Ethereum address for the future of forever. And as as you refer more people and more revenue enters the system, your payout, your percentage of the revenue will go up. So this maxes out. It starts as soon as you've referred 3/10 of an ether to our system, you start making 5% of all the revenue. And then once you've referred 3 ether or more, you actually get 10% of all revenue that's referred through your links or that your players have spent with the system throughout time. Additionally, while we're in our kind of early release and there is no battle system set up right now, we do also have reward chests. So when you buy a hero at this point in time, you will be getting a reward chest. A reward chest is going to be filled at a later time with various items, or really any ERC20 token that we decide to put in there, but it's mostly going to be game items, such as weapons. And those will be openable at a later time, and it's a quasi-random reward that comes out of those chests. Again, that at this point is just for our pre-release session until the battle arena is completed. Additionally, with our items, we are building on top of a 0x based decentralized exchange. So because all of the items within our system are actually ERC20 tokens, a standard Ethereum token, there will be ability for players to trade those, to set up a shop, to trade for any tokens, any ERC20 tokens they desire, or for other items within our ecosystem. The technology on this, it is built on top of Ethereum, and we are using some specialized state channels to handle the actual gameplay. So most battles, as long as no one's cheating, most battles only require 3 calls to the Ethereum network. First one to initiate a challenge, the second one to accept a challenge, and the third to claim victory. There is some pretty cool proof of stake validation things that are going to be going on in the battle zone when we start offering bonuses, but that's beyond what I'm going to go into right now. So I'm going to quickly demo for you the character creation that we have live, that just went live 2 days ago, and it's actually still soft launch. Our marketing is mostly not updated to support where we're at yet. That will be coming in the next day or 2. So I have not actually used this on this low resolution of the screen, so I hope it's not gonna break. Oh, so I actually didn't say, the app that we have is currently running in a web browser using WebGL. It is built on a Unity framework, so for our actual battle arena, that will exist as native apps on phones and PCs and Macs. Okay. And hopefully the Wi-Fi will work here. I swear this is usually much faster. If only I had a joke to tell. So Crypto Fights, it's a fairly small team right now. I'm based in Grand Rapids. I came over about last month for an Ethereum build night, and it was awesome, and I was really, really impressed with the community here. And then yesterday, Adam invited me to come present here. So if anyone's got any more in-depth questions that we don't have time for tonight, I will be at the Ethereum build night this coming Wednesday as well. The Red Door Digital? The event is on Detroit Blockchainers on Meetup.
We'll make an announcement after with the address in time for that.
And we must really be eating up the bandwidth in here, because this is not that big of a download.
It's the live stream, probably. I'm sorry.
It's quite all right. That's what I get for doing it live rather than a dev box. joined the team in February. My focus is mostly on all the back-end technologies and on the smart contracts. The Unity developer, I believe, has been working on things since about January, so this is definitely within this calendar year. Okay, so here is our Crypto Fights lobby, which at this point, character creation is really the only thing we've got to show off. So I'm going to click Create right here. So there are 3 different races currently supported. We have elves, dwarves, and humans. All of them have their own benefits. And then we have got male and female. The customization of what your character looks like does not determine their strengths or weaknesses or anything at all. That's just used to let you customize your own character forever. All right, we'll make a blue-haired elf here. And I'm just going to randomly set some values for their vitality, strength, and agility. So there's a progressive scale for the points that you can assign. As you assign more points to a certain category, they start costing more of the points you've got to assign. So if you want to really max up in one area, it's going to affect your ability to produce, to max up other areas. All right, I'm going to name him Detroit the Elf. All right. So this is tied into MetaMask. It's going to hit my Ethereum wallet right here. Currently, a hero costs 5/100ths of an ether, so 0.05 ether, which as you see right now is about 23 bucks. I am going to click confirm. And there we go. And you'll see, as I mentioned, because we're an early access program, I did just get a reward chest as well right now. So that is it. The hero is mine. If I go to my Etherscan, oops, it's not what I wanted. So here's the transaction I just sent through. It's still pending. But when that is done, I will actually have another token that is added to my account. So that's it. If you got any other questions, find me around, or again, I will be at the Ethereum Build Night on Wednesday.
Cool. So is Josh Kreitz here? Did he make it here? Doesn't look like it. So that's all we got for today and the week. Thanks everybody who came throughout the week. As Nate mentioned, and some various other speakers, make sure to join the Slack. If you want an invite to that, come see me or Rob or Nate or anybody else that's in the community. I think Ann over here is too. I don't know if she wants to take on that responsibility. We're also hoping to plan a conference either at the end of the year or early next, maybe in the springtime. It depends on when we can get the space and finalize the venue. So we'd love to have you guys all out. We have a sign-in sheet if you want to stay updated on that stuff as a whole. And thanks for coming. Enjoy some beer and enjoy your weekend too. Thanks, guys.
For anyone who's interested in the legal aspects of blockchain, as Adam mentioned, my name is Ann Choike. I'm a professor of law at Wayne State University Law School. And next February 22nd, there's going to be a symposium on the legal aspects of blockchain, a full day at Wayne Law. So just stay posted for details about that. February 22nd, 2018, I'm coordinating. 2019.